Right, and I thought I'd have a go at a sort of forest river type scene. So I'm just going to kick it off with some plain water and then a bit of background colour. Now, some of you might have noticed I've switched back to my old palette. Just for the time being. The problem was the other palette, it was too big to hold, plus the colours were all over the place. There was new colours on there, there was old colours, and it just felt weird, just very, very strange, and I just yearned for familiarity, which is what I've got today. So I know where everything is, I ain't got to worry about where to find stuff. Because what I was doing, I was just thrashing around, just taking anything. Because to have painted normally, because to have used the colours that I wanted to use, I would have had to have slowed down and look for them on the palette, and it was just, it was doing me head in, basically. So I just wanted to go back to more familiar things, where I just know where everything is. So just using a clear water just to soften all this off. And then what I'll do is whack a few greens in there as well. Just random patterns, shapes, twisting the brush around. Yellow in there. And what I'm going to do is switch to the sword liner brush. Just start whacking in. Just a few distant trees. A lot of these will just soften off, but some of them will stick. Some of them will be obscured by things happening in the foreground, closer trees, but as long as you can just see one or two in the distance, then it works. Just add a bit more brown to all of that. And these ones are a little bit thicker because they're closer, and you can see them pushing those other ones in the distance. I would use the rigger brush, but it just holds so much more water. I'd have to keep reloading it every couple of strokes. I won't leave that one in the water because it'll bend the hairs. But I'll switch back to the height brush. There's a bit of water on the paper, so I don't need any on the brush because it'll just get too wet, basically. So I'm just scuffing the hairs up and just going into some dark colours. Let's switch back to that rigger brush, sword liner. Flick a few more in. You can see blobs of water flick. Don't worry about it. The more the merrier. It just adds to the atmosphere and the stuff. Just go with it. Let's try a smaller rigger brush. This is the small rigger brush. Actually looking for some even less than that. Let's just try and hit this with a few. for a splatter effect. And just getting that by just flicking this. It's quite wet and a bit of water. It's basically what I'm looking for. Just bits of paint, just flicking off, completely random, and that's what I want. Not too many of this sort of scraping stuff. It always looks better with just the odd one. Just keep it subtle. Just give it a bit of blue. Bring that down there like this. Hold it at the bottom. Just try and get random marks. And just work out just which way is the water going to flow. Something like that. It's meant to be water coming down. Let's clean that brush. Get back to that blue. Big boulder there. Now this water, let's just wet that water, and then I'm going to bring down some of these colours from up there. Just reflected in the water a little bit. A quick dry. Let's just make sure it's flat first. Back with the little brush. I want some sort of shadowy side colour. It's too light. And again, get a few little darks around there. Go up a bit higher. That's the sword line, bit of blue, bit of black. And again, the more sort of layers you get in, the more depth you get. this little brush now. I call this my sort of tonal adjustment brush. Generally use it for darks, for adding in darks, and actually, or this other flat brush which I might use instead. I never use this one, but I think it does have its uses. It's a little bit wet. Now just to pick out some of the dark sections. On its side like that, just to get random marks. This section here. Just want this a bit bluer. Give that a quick dry. Back to that brown and blue, a little bit of red in there mix, quite dark because we've got some darker shadowy sections there in the foreground. Now I'm just looking for a bit of water now. It's going to be quite dry. I haven't left enough white to be able to do this flow really very well, have I? So I'm trying to get like a little waterfall going on there, but that's too wet. Trying to bring it down, but again it's too wet. Should have left that more white so I could put a bit of flow in there. I could faff about with it. It's just lighten that up a bit. just try it. Let's dry that. I'll use a small height brush. It needs to be pretty dry. If I just take those colours that are in the river, something like that, I think. And then we'll sort of just well, that's how you don't do it. I might have one more faff about with it, and then I'm going to keep going until I get it right, I think. Right, then, little light brush, and then take some of those colours. We just want them. It still looks a bit rubbish, but in fact it looks, do you know what, I'm going to divert everyone's attention away from that. It's I was gonna squeeze some paint out, but I squeezed them all out on the other palette, and I've got there's none left now, is there? I guess I can squeeze a little bit of, yeah, there's a bit left. I'm going to use some raw sienna, just a bit of just get your finger in there as well and just really rough it up. Just wet this foreground up a bit, just loosen it all up. There's too many hard edges. need a few of these reflections in there, don't I, from all these trees. And again, I should have put these in. Let's just wet that slightly. Now what I want is a little fisherman. So I'm just going to put a little fisherman on the bank somewhere. But I'm not going to use that brush. I need some new rigger brushes. These are just rubbish. The 0 just bends. The size 2 is thicker than I expected. Someone commented that not all brands are the same size, so you buy a size 2 in a down around here and it's a different size to a size 2 in another brand, which I honestly didn't realise. So he's sort of leaning forward like that, sat on his box. I want to match these darks. That's the main thickness of it. Now that brush is too thick, so I'm going to have to use this one. You can barely see him, which isn't ideal. The rod's clashing with that mark on the background. I should have rubbed that out really and put this in. You can tell this is the first painting I've done for a while. Maybe I'm just a bit rusty. I don't know. Some kind of reflection down here of him. And what I do need a few foreground things going on, just make the foreground just a bit more interesting. I think that'll do before I ruin it anymore. Let's just stick my name on this and call this one done. It's starting to do me head in. Right then. Now let's stick a mate on that and see what it looks like. So there's our finished painting the main. So if we go in and have a closer look at it, you can see our little fisherman there sat on the banks. I should have cleared that the distance really, because his rod's clashing with marks in the background. Bit clumsy that is. Very simple reflection put in there. The rest of it maybe could have gone a bit touch dark with the darks along this sort of line there, but I've tried to get plenty of variation in the brush strokes and the shapes and the lines and the colours. Again, clumsy with the river. It was meant to be a sort of stroke where the paint's breaking, so it looks like just a tiny little waterfall, but a little bit messy. A few foreground reeds there. The darker reeds I think work quite well against the softer stuff, just on the banks there. And then you can see where I've tried to preserve this light come in. Could have been a bit better job in the sky there. Maybe darken the sides a little bit more to get this light coming down. Works better in the foreground. You can see all these marks with the sword liner. A little bit of scraping with the fingernail as well to contrast. And these sort of dollops of raw sienna. Create a bit of texture in there as well. So I hope you enjoy that. Thanks as always for watching, for your support. Very much appreciated. Remember, it's not too late if you want to share your art, mental health stories, issues, how art's helped you overcome difficult times. You can always email them to me, stephen.croning.art@gmail.com, with any photographs as well that you'd like included in the book. But until next time, thanks for watching. Keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon.